Take a look around you. The phone in your hand, the shirt you're wearing, the chair you're sitting on, the food in your kitchen. Now imagine someone asks you to pay for all of it with this.
I'd probably get laughed out of the store.
Exactly. Now here's another question. Why would the store happily accept this instead of the rock?
Because that's money.
Is it, or is there something else going on? Because if you really think about it, this note is just paper. Your debit card is just plastic. And the money in your bank account isn't paper or plastic. It's just numbers on a screen. So why do all of these buy things while this rock does it?
Because everyone agrees they do?
Exactly. And that one idea might be the most important thing you'll ever learn about money. Money works because people believe it works. But let's rewind way back, before banks, before coins, before paper money, before anyone had ever heard the word salary. Imagine you're living thousands of years ago. You grow tomatoes. I raise goats. You need milk. I need tomatoes. Easy enough. We trade.
Simple. Problem solved.
Until I don't want tomatoes. Maybe I already have enough. Maybe I want fish instead. Now what?
I'd have to find someone with fish who wants tomatoes.
Exactly. And if that person wanted firewood instead, you'd have to go find someone with firewood. Who might want grain? Who might want cloth? Who might want something else? You could spend your whole day making trades just to end up with dinner.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. As villages became towns, and towns became cities, bartering became slower and more frustrating. People needed something everyone would accept. Something that could be exchanged for almost anything. That's when humans started experimenting. Some cultures used salt. Others used cowrie shells, tea bricks, animal skins, even cattle.
Hold on. People carried cows around as money?
Not exactly. But owning cattle was a sign of wealth. In fact, the word capital comes from the Latin word caput, meaning head, because wealth was once measured by the number of cattle you owned.
So being rich literally meant having more cows?
For some people, yes. But cows had a problem. You couldn't divide one in half to buy a loaf of bread. They got sick, they wandered off, and feeding your money wasn't exactly convenient.
Fair point.
Eventually, people discovered metals, gold, silver, copper. They lasted a long time. They were hard to fake, easy to carry, and people trusted them. Coins were born. For thousands of years, coins transformed trade. Merchants could travel farther. Businesses grew. Kingdoms became richer. But then, another problem appeared. Imagine you're a merchant traveling across a continent carrying hundreds of gold coins. Heavy, dangerous, easy to steal.
I'd be terrified.
So instead of carrying gold everywhere, people started leaving it with trusted goldsmiths. The goldsmith would give them a receipt, a promise that said, "This paper represents the gold we're keeping for you." Eventually, people stopped collecting the gold. They simply traded the receipts. Because if everyone trusted the receipt, why bother carrying heavy gold around?
Wait, so paper money started as an IOU?
Exactly. And that's where something fascinating happened. People realized they weren't really trading gold anymore. They were trading trust.
So money isn't valuable because it's paper. It's valuable because people trust it.
Now you're getting it. Fast forward to today. When was the last time you were paid in cash? For many people, it's been a while. Your salary arrives in a bank account. You tap your phone to buy coffee. You shop online. You send money to a friend in seconds. Most modern money never exists as physical cash. It's just digital records moving from one account to another.
So the money in my account, I can't actually hold it?
Not unless you withdraw it. And even then, you're only holding a tiny part of the money that exists. Most of the world's money lives inside computers.
That's kind of weird. I've spent my whole life chasing something that mostly exists as numbers.
It is weird, but here's something even stranger. Imagine tomorrow morning, everyone suddenly believes your country's money is worthless. Stores stop accepting it. Banks refuse to lend it. People rush to exchange it for something else. What happens?
Everything falls apart.
Exactly. Not because the paper changed, not because the ink disappeared, because trust disappeared. Money has never been about paper, or metal, or plastic. Money is one of humanity's greatest inventions because it allows millions, even billions of strangers to cooperate without ever meeting. A farmer grows wheat, a truck driver transports it, a baker turns it into bread, a cashier sells it. You buy it. None of you know each other, But money makes the exchange possible. It connects people across cities and continents.
So money isn't the goal, it's the tool.
Exactly. A tool that stores value, makes trade easier, and helps economies grow. But like any tool, its power depends on whether people believe in it.
I never thought about money like that. I always thought it was something governments created.
Governments issue currencies. Banks move money. Businesses earn it. People spend it. But underneath all of that, money is built on one invisible foundation: trust. Lose that, and money becomes paper. Keep it, and those little pieces of paper, or even numbers on a screen, can build companies, economies, and entire civilizations.
So, what is money, really?
Money is trust, made spendable. And once you understand that, you'll start seeing the entire economy differently. Because the next question isn't, what is money? It's, why does money keep buying less over time? Why does everything seem to get more expensive every year? That's exactly what we're exploring next time.